Why the middle class is struggling. If you feel like you are doing everything right, working harder than ever, but somehow falling further behind, you aren't imagining things. And you are definitely not alone. Every morning, millions of people set their alarms, commute through heavy traffic, give 40 to 60 hours of their week to their jobs, and wait patiently for payday. But when that deposit hits the bank account, the relief lasts for just a few minutes before reality sets in. After rent, groceries, utilities, and basic living expenses, there is almost nothing left over. There is no luxury spending, just the basic cost of existing in the modern world. For decades, the American dream followed a simple and predictable formula. Go to school, secure a stable job, work hard, save your money, and eventually buy a home where you could raise a family and retire with dignity. It was a fair contract. If you contributed your labor to the economy would provide you with stability and security. But quietly over the last 40 years, the rules of the game were completely rewritten. Today, the middle class is being systematically squeezed out of existence, trapped in a reality where hard work no longer guarantees financial safety. But the most terrifying part isn't just the financial pressure, it is that most people do not understand why it is happening. They look at their dwindling bank balances and assume it is a personal financial failure. They blame their habits, their budget, or their lack of discipline. It isn't a personal failure, it is a structural trap. To understand why your paycheck feels lighter with every passing year, we have to look past the political noise and look directly at the real numbers. In 1985, the median household income in the US was around $23,620 per year. At that exact same time, the median price of a new home was approximately $84,300. That meant a typical home cost roughly 3.5 times the average worker's annual income. A single worker with a high school diploma could comfortably support a family, pay off a mortgage, and save for the future. Fast forward to today, and the reality is unrecognizable. While median wages have crept up slowly over the decades, asset prices have skyrocketed. In many major markets, the home price to income ratio has pushed past an astronomical 7-to-1, and in some areas it sits well above 10-to-1. While average wages grew linearly, the cost of foundational assets, housing, energy, healthcare, and education grew exponentially. We aren't talking about a minor statistical gap or a temporary market fluctuation. We're talking about a historic divergence. Today, young workers are paying a massive premium for the exact same survival assets that their parents acquired with a single income decades ago. You're working twice as hard for half as much equity. But how did we get here? How did an entire economic system shift so drastically? It all comes down to a central mechanism that governments rarely explain in plain language: currency devaluation. To understand currency devaluation, you have to stop looking at money as paper bills. Money is not inherently valuable on its own. Money is simply a token used to measure, store, and transfer human time and energy. When you work 8 hours at your job, you are trading 8 irreplaceable hours of your life for a set number of dollars. Those dollars represent your stored effort. Now imagine an entity that holds the key to the printing press. Imagine the government or central bank suddenly decides to create trillions of new dollars out of thin air to cover national debt or fund programs. Notice what happened. The total amount of actual work, real products, goods, and housing in the country did not increase by a single fraction. But the number of paper tokens chasing those exact same real-world goods multiplied dramatically. When the supply of money expands artificially, each individual dollar loses a piece of its purchasing power. This is the true definition of inflation. Inflation is not simply prices organically rising on their own. Inflation is the value of your currency falling. It operates as an unvoted, hidden, and invisible tax levied on anyone who earns a fixed wage or tries to save money in a bank account. Because the system cannot hide this devaluation completely, it manifests in daily life through two distinct and devastating mechanisms. The first is shrinkflation. Corporations know that if they double the price of your cereal, coffee, or packaged food, consumers will panic. Instead, they keep the price point and packaging size identical, but quietly reduce the actual quantity inside. You walk out of the store paying the exact same amount for less substance. While shrinkflation slowly drains your daily cash flow, the second manifestation is far more dangerous: asset price inflation. When central banks pump trillions of fresh dollars into the system, those funds do not trickle down to everyday workers. They flow directly into the hands of commercial banks, institutional investors, and massive hedge funds. These entities do not let capital sit passively in cash accounts where it loses value. Instead, they use that cheap money to buy up hard assets, primarily residential real estate. This creates an artificial supply shock in the housing market. Corporate landlords and multi-billion-dollar private equity funds like BlackRock are not buying suburban homes to live in them. They are purchasing them as financial shields to protect their capital against inflation while extracting rent from the working class. This competition drives home prices straight through the roof, permanently pricing out first-time buyers and converting a generation of potential homeowners into forever renters. This brings us to the ultimate economic irony of our modern era. Saving cash in a traditional bank account is a guaranteed financial loss. If true inflation is compounding at 4 to 6% annually, while your bank offers you less than 1% in interest, your purchasing power is actively evaporating. $10,000 left sitting passively in a bank account over a decade will still say $10,000 on the screen, but its real-world ability to purchase goods, land, and services will have lost a massive portion of its value. The financial system is explicitly structured to reward those who own assets while penalizing those who rely purely on wages and cash savings. The middle class isn't struggling because people have gotten lazy. They are struggling because they are running a race on a treadmill that keeps accelerating. To survive and protect your future, the modern worker can no longer afford to just be an earner. They have to understand how the game works. How has this modern economic squeeze altered your financial plans for the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.